Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday MLB DFS Slate Breakdown brought to you by LineStar. Come join us. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do. We also have a free trial option through Android or iOS app stores if you've never tried us out before. 7 days free. You just got to download the app, sign up through the app store, and you can try us out for free for 7 days. We also do have all these promo offers down here from a ton of different affiliates. So let's dive in. Let's check it out. Let's see what we have on this slate. We're going to go over the perfect lineups from yesterday, the winning lineups, then jump into today's slate, going over some pitchers to consider and some stacks to consider. Now, starting with the perfect lineup on DraftKings, we had Chris Sale, we had Yusei Kikuchi, then we had a two-man Cincinnati stack and all one-offs with a 255.85 total. The winning lineup went to Fletch with 219.65, so 39 points or so off, or did I say 255? All right. Not quite 39 points there, but still a huge difference there. The lineup he put together had Atlanta, Chris Sale, had Wheeler, two high-owned, two chalky, expensive pitcher, and then he still got it done. Three-man Toronto stack, three-man Arizona, then an Athletics versus an Arizona spot to round it out. So a lot of correlation with the lineup. It was a single bullet, and the man took it down, won by 15 points, 150K. Congrats to you, Fletch. And this was a big $5 tournament, so real surprising seeing him take it down. But congrats to you. That's a huge win. And now let's check out FanDuel. We had Chris Sale as a perfect lineup. Two-man Cincinnati over here again, and all one-offs. With the winning lineup, went to MCO Mitch, who had Sale, had a four-man Arizona stack, and three one-offs. Arizona stack, you know, the old Grand Slam, walk-off Grand Slam, kind of sealed it for them and really boost his team. So congrats to MCO Mitch. You won 20K. Now let's dive into this slate and see what we can uncover here. Starting on DraftKings, high-owned pitcher, we got Mackenzie Gore, 10K, 21% owned. Now, I gotta tell you that these ownerships all morning have really been changing. Pretty much all four of these guys, Gore, Canning, Fried, McCullers, consistently been up there with the four highest owned. So, starting with Gore at 10K versus the Mets. Dude has been unreal this year. 2.9 FIP over his last 20, 2.43 over the last 5, 32% K rate over the long term, 33% over the short term. StatCast data, it's okay. A little bit of fly balls, a little bit of hard contact, but all in all, people aren't really hitting him hard, and the splits are heavily in favor of Gore. The Mets have been struggling versus lefties. 215 average, 132 ISO, 289 WOBA, just not good numbers. So I'm very interested in Gore in this spot. 28.7% combined K rate. The BVP data looks pretty good. He's had some ceiling games versus them. Also has had a little trouble versus them. You never really know what you're going to get when you're facing, one elite pitcher versus a few elite hitters. But if he can limit, Lindor, Alonso, and Soto, which isn't an easy task, then he's, ripe for a very, very good game. But he can definitely do it. He has been an elite pitcher, and the ceiling is huge. He's had some big games this season versus Philadelphia, in Colorado, San Francisco versus the Cubs, Seattle. Some of these are, elite hitting teams, and he's been able to get it. Colorado's not, but hey, pitching in Colorado is never easy. Next, we got Griffin Canning, 7,400, 20% owned, 4.58 FIP over the last 20, 4.49 over the last 5. You guys know I've been kind of on him this season, and I don't mind him in this spot. We have a 7.5 game total. The BVP data does not look good, but it is only 47 plate attempts, so it's, 3 outings where he didn't do great. However, he did great earlier this season, putting up 21, going 5 innings and 5 Ks, and that was in Washington. This one is at home. I got a little interest here. Not going to go overboard on him. I think 20% owned might be a little high. I hope that falls a little bit, but I would probably have 15 to 20% on DraftKings of him. Maybe, maybe closer to the 15 area, but I do like him. Next, we got Max Fried, 10.5K, 27% owned versus the Kansas City Royals. And in Kansas City, now Fried has absolutely been dealing 3.08 FIP over his last 20, 2.73 over the last 5. His StatCast data looks good. The splits look great. BVP data, while very small sample size, looks good. Combined K rate's 24.4%. I love the spot for him. I think Fried is fully in play. Him and Gore are both interesting. Probably wouldn't do them both together, but one or the other I do like. Now, the issue here is that, one, we got warm weather in Kansas City, winds blowing slightly out, and this Kansas City offense has started to show some signs of life. And then with Gore, you're against the Mets, which we know is one of the better offenses. So 2 spots that it's not super easy matchups, but the pitcher's been so good that it's very hard to not want to go there. Max McCullers, 8.5K, 18% owned. This is the toughest one for me on this slate, where I know what to do the least. Now, projections are loving McCullers. I think there's a lot of reasons to be interested in him. 4.16 FIP over his last 20, 4.03 over his last 5, 30% K rate over his last 5, which, is pretty much just this year. Now, McCullers, years ago was just getting absolutely hammered, and he's finally back, and he's been pitching super good. I mean, we're talking about a guy that has a 4.4 FIP on the season, but over the last month, ERA on the season, over the last month, it's a 2.21. Striking out 12.8 batters per 9. The K rate has been very much elevated, and he's in a great spot versus the White Sox, who aren't very good. He's also at home, 25% combined K rate. I'm going to have to get some of him, but it's a tough click for me. I will say I don't mind some White Sox stacks as well, because McCullers is prone to these 7 earned runs, 0.1 inning outings. He has these short outings where he just gets totally blown up from time to time. So I have some interest in the White Sox, but McCullers been pitching too good with too much strikeout upside in this matchup to not consider him. I'm going to have some. Dylan Cease, 8.4K. He's super cheap. But the thing I need to point out is this projection. We have him at 11. And unfortunately, I'm going full-blown Padres fan today, but I think this is going to be a tough matchup for Dylan Cease. 3.39 FIP over the last 20, 3.15 over the last 5. StatCast data is fine. Splits, it's the Dodgers offense. They're amazing. He is averaging 32% more fantasy points at home, though. BVP data is okay. It's all over the place. Very mixed results. Can he get 20 plus versus them? Yes. I just don't think it's probable. My issue with Cease is you can't, hang any pitches versus this Dodgers offense. Most likely, there's going to be 1 or 2 that he hangs. Most likely, there's going to be 1 or 2 home runs by the Dodgers. Now, if those are solo shots, he can still get 20, with giving up a couple runs, and there is that chance. But if there's people on base, then we're going to run into a problem with Dylan Cease. Unfortunately, I tend to look into this projection a little bit more and feel like it's the truth. Now, we got a 16-point projection on the consensus, so they don't love him either. But consensus also hates Max Fried. Real split on what to do here, but I'm going to have a very hard time putting in Dylan Cease, but this price point is super low. It's just, he's a little too high owned for me to be trusting Dylan Cease in this spot. Next, we got Ryan Papoy, 7,600, 15-point projection on LineStar, 12% owned. He's the first pivot that I really want to talk about here versus this Red Sox team, which they have the youth movement going on in full blast, but he has been extremely good lately. 3.82 FIP, but ERA of 2.27 over the last month. 2.32 over the last 5 starts. 4.5 FIP over the last 20. Around a 22% K rate. This Red Sox team, very boom bust. 24% K rate over the last 20 versus righties. Team VP data is a little bit rough. He got rocked a little bit earlier this season. Has had some real highs versus them. So I have a little interest. Overall, 22.8% K rate at 7,600 is very interesting. It's a boom bust offense. Temps in the mid-60s. Game totals a little bit elevated here. But I could also see this game actually end up being a little bit of a pitcher's duel because it's Giolito on the other side, which is one of our favorite options to stack against. But he's also a pitcher that just has that huge ceiling, so I don't mind getting a little Giolito also. I could see this game, with a huge array of variants, and so it is one that I want to target. I want to get into my games or my lineups. I think this game is either going to be a shootout or a low-scoring affair, and I'm interested. Next, we got Grant Holmes, 7.9K. Guy's been pitching pretty well. 4.38 FIP over his last 20, but 3.65 over his last 5. K rates, mid-20s. The issue here is that he's averaging 51% less fantasy points while away. Now let's look at what he's done away. Faced at Boston in Boston. Arizona in Arizona. Dodgers in LA. San Diego in San Diego. He has had a rough away games. Now, we can combat that. What did he do at home against those teams? Went nuts versus the Dodgers. Went nuts versus San Diego. Had a good game versus Boston. Got roughed up versus Arizona. So, he's faced these same opponents away and home and has had more success at home. So, maybe there is something to say with that. But all in all, I don't fully trust that those away splits. Think there's probably a little more to it. He's been pitching well. This Milwaukee offense doesn't scare me too much. The splits are fine. There's some upside at 7,900. He can absolutely get you mid-20s at the price. And he's super low owned, so I have some interest. Next, Chris Bassett, 7,700 versus St. Louis Cardinals. His splits are good. He has a huge ceiling when he gets it going. He is, however, averaging 34% less fantasy points when away. So, a lot to make from here, but the ceiling that he has makes me want some. The BVP data, not enough to really go off, but St. Louis has had the better of him. But it's all old data. They haven't seen him for a couple years. So, I like the spot. I don't mind going with Bassett, 7,700. I mean, he can give you 30 at 7,700. He does that, and it's perfect lineup candidate. You got to have him. Giolito at 6,300 is kind of a similar spot. He can give you, mid-high 20s. But it's also a huge chance that it could be home run derby for the Tampa Bay Rays. So do with that information which you will. And I like Gore. I like Fried. McCullers is interesting. Canning, I'm going to have some going a little too high owned. Papoy, Holmes, Bassett, the pivots. And on to FanDuel. High owned. Grant Holmes, 19% owned. I'm going to have some. Kyle Harrison, 7K versus the Rockies. It's just in Colorado. But the Rockies cannot hit lefties. I have some interest. He has also shown a little success in Colorado. I'm fine getting a little bit. Do I absolutely love it? No. but at least he's at 87 pitches. My issue here, super warm temps in Colorado and wind blowing out, so not great pitching weather in Colorado. I don't mind it. It's ugly, but I don't mind it. And he's 6,700 or 6,600 on DraftKings. Also, don't mind it over there a little bit. Freed at 10.6, 15% owned. Gonna have some. I'm probably getting away from Cease, but 8,600 makes sense to go there. McCullers priced up a little bit more on FanDuel, but I'm probably going to go there. We love him at 4.1x. Gore at 4x. 10K salary, going low owned. Love that spot. And then Bassett, definitely going to need some Bassett as well in my repertoire. Now, let's get over to some stacks. Let's start with high owned stacks. We got San Francisco Giants in Colorado versus Carson Plumquist. It's a Colorado game with great hitting weather and a pitcher that's not that good and a poor bullpen. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get away from some Giants. I'm going to be fine having some. The one issue I have to say is that while Colorado is a great hitting stadium, Coors is a great hitting stadium, it's not like they boost the home runs a ton. So if we get a different stadium that goes off with some home runs, maybe they can be optimal over San Francisco. 90% owned on an 11-game slate is a lot of ownership. So we do need to worry about ownership a little bit here. But hard to get away from good hitting weather and Colorado first bad pitchers. Highest projections, we got Tampa Bay versus Giolito. I love the spot. I'm going to play both sides of that, though. But Tampa Bay is definitely on my radar to be playing, and they're going way too low owned. Giants, we talked about. Arizona versus Logan Evans. Logan Evans has been okay, 4.88 FIP. The offense is humming a little bit. It's in Arizona, another good hitting venue, so don't mind going there. And then Dodgers versus Dylan Cease. Low-owned Dodgers, sign me up. I'm a little scared by Cease for sure with a Dodger stack, but I got to play the Dodgers a little bit. One of the things, Dodgers can throw a ton of lefties at Cease, and Cease has like a 5.5 ERA versus lefties over the last 20 starts. So not a great spot for Dylan Cease to be in versus so many lefties and good lefties. I mean, Freeman, Ohtani, Muncy, Kim has been absolutely crushing the ball. It's just not a great spot for Cease. Not a great matchup for him. Now, highest value, we got White Sox 2.6 versus McCullers. McCullers can get lit up. I don't mind a little bit. Not going to go super hard on him. Highest ceiling, we got Yankees versus Noah Cameron. I've talked about this a lot, and we should probably touch on it again. He has a 0.85 ERA and a 3.76 FIP. There is going to be some regression here. Yankees are a very good offense. We got warm temps in Kansas City. There is absolutely a path to Yankees success, even though Cameron has been absolutely amazing so far. There's going to be regression. The regression monster has to be coming at some point. Mets versus Gore. Don't love it, but the ceiling's obviously there with that Mets offense. Athletics versus Jose Soriano. Soriano's been very, very good, but that bullpen's awful, and that is enough to want some of them. Highest leverage, we got Grant Holmes versus Milwaukee. Grant Holmes, those home away splits could be real, and if so, you'll probably want some Milwaukee. Dodgers versus Cease, we talked about. Yankees, talked about, and the A's. Let's click the teams tab. Giants at 6.7. It's going to be very, very hard to get away from them. We have a 1.8 difference on implied total to the next closest team. I love some Giants. I'm going to have some of them. They're one of my favorite stacks. Going to be hard to get away. But the ownership is real. I might just try and play some more of the lower-owned Giants guys instead of the higher-owned guys. Arizona at 4.9 versus Logan Evans. Another one of my favorites. Yankees. While Cameron's been good, regression monster's coming. I'm intrigued by Yankees, especially if they go low owned. Colorado at 4.8 versus Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison's been very, very good in Colorado, but it's Colorado with great hitting weather, and Colorado is going to go up and end up going low owned. I'm going to be on some of them. Angels versus Mitch Spence. Now, Spence has been pretty good, but he's probably not going to go deep into that game. The bullpen hasn't been great. I'm fine getting a little of the Angels, Los Angeles, as the Athletics. Pretty much the same situation for Athletics. Minnesota at 4.6. I don't love that stack. 4.6 for Seattle against Brandon Pfaff. Brandon Pfaff is boom bust. He's been bad lately. 50% hard contact, 95 average exit velocity. Bullpen's been terrible. Makes some sense to have some Seattle, but he could absolutely shut him down. Seattle makes sense. Boston makes sense. Tampa Bay makes sense. Tampa Bay and Boston are two of my favorite stacks today. Well, more so Tampa Bay than Boston. I think Papoy is more consistent and better than Giolito. Atlanta, okay, I'm not super high on them. Texas, I absolutely love today. Simeon Woods Richardson hasn't been that good. High average exit velocity, high hard contact rate, and this Texas offense can also steal bases, do some different things to accrue fantasy points. Look, Dodgers and Padres are low owned, but as we saw last night, they're going to put up some runs. They're playing like playoff games, really locked in on every at bat. I'm interested there. So my favorite stacks, Dodgers, Padres, maybe a little Toronto and Milwaukee due to that Grant Holmes spot. Love the Texas spot. Tampa Bay, Seattle, then Colorado, Yankees, Arizona, San Francisco are obvious ones. So that'll do it for us today. You guys have a good one. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Peace. Please like, comment, and subscribe.